Hey everyone, my name is Abhishek and today we are going to create this. So this minimal typography poster animation is done entirely using After Effects and it's very easy to create. So let's see how to create this. Alright, so right now I'm in After Effects and I've already imported a couple of these images. So these are just PNG cutouts of a couple of these athletes. So it's completely up to you, you can use whatever images you want. So once you're done with it, just import them in After Effects and you are ready to go. So first we'll begin by creating a new composition. So let's go to composition, new comp, and let's call this one main. Width and height will be 1920 by 1080, framed at 30 fps, and duration you can pick whatever you want. Just click on OK. Now first we are going to create our background. So right click, new, and let's create a solid. For color, it's completely up to you, you can pick whatever you want. I'm going to pick a really nice pink color. So let's select this one. Perfect. Now let's create one more solid. So right click, new, or you can just simply select this, press Ctrl D to duplicate this. And on this one, we can change its color by simply applying the fill. Let's drag it over here. And on this one, I'm going to change its color to a little bit like this. Perfect. Now we can select this, press S, and let's uncheck these values, and I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller so that it covers the screen. And we can probably select this, copy, and let's paste it over here so that we can easily control the color. Now let's pick a really nice pink color, so somewhere around here. I think this looks good. Perfect. So let's add our text. So in order to do that, just select the text tool and you can just click and type whatever you want. I'm going to type Robinson, and for the font, I'm using the Montserrat font. So I'm using the Montserrat black font, but it's completely up to you. You can use whatever font you want. Let's quickly align it to the center. If you're not able to see the align panel, then you can go to Windows and from here you can enable it. Now also make its anchor point in the center. So select the layer, hold on the Control key and double click on this. Perfect. So right now you can see we only have the stroke. We don't have any fill. So if you want to have fill, then you can just simply click over here and just pick whatever color you want. Let's set this to something like that. And stroke, I'm going to set this to 0 for now. Perfect. Let's quickly animate this. So I'm going to select this and we are going to animate its tracking. So let's go to the properties and click on animate. Let's add tracking. And we're going to animate the tracking amount. So in the beginning, I'm going to just make these texts very close to each other, something like that. Perfect. Now let's go to somewhere around 1 second and I'm going to just expand it something like this, and let's go back to somewhere around 2 and I'm going to set this to 0. Perfect. So that we have this sort of animation. And now we can quickly select all of these keyframes, press F9 to ease them. Let's go to the graph editor, and if your graph looks different, then make sure you are using the speed graph, not the value graph. Now let's tweak the curves. So I'm going to just make it look something like this, and let's tweak it over here. Let's drag this endpoint so that our curve looks something like that. Now if I press play, you can see we have this very nice animation. Now we can go to somewhere in the middle and I'm going to select this layer, and you can press Ctrl Shift D to split this layer. Now in the beginning, we don't want any kind of fill, we only want stroke. So make sure that this is selected, the color section, and just click on this so that we will get rid of any kind of fill. And for stroke, I'm going to set this to white color only and just increase the stroke width by simply moving the slider. So let's say 12. Now if I press play, you can see we have the stroke in the beginning and then we have the solid color. Perfect. Now we can do the same thing over here as well. Let's select the stroke part and press Ctrl D and let's move it to the top. Now we can move it a little bit to the top. So you can just use the arrow keys to move it a little bit somewhere around here. Let's select this, press Ctrl D and let's move one more copy down below. Something like that. So before we continue, if you enjoy my content and you want to support me, then you can check out my Patreon page. Over there, you will get access to the tutorial project files and exclusive templates that are available only on Patreon. So make sure to check it out. Link for that is in the description. Now let's continue. So here you can see we have both the layers. Now we can probably select these and let's extend them like that. And we can trim their beginning so that we only have it at the end. So something like that. Perfect. Now once you're done with this, we can probably zoom in and let's place it over here. Perfect. So once you're done with this, we are ready to add our image. So for that, we can create a new composition. Let's call this one image. And let's drag our image, whatever you want to use. Let's drag this one, press S to scale this down, and let's just place it somewhere around here. Now let's go back to the main comp and let's go to the image, and we can drag our image back over here. Perfect. Now we want these layers to be down below, something like that, so that the middle text is on top of our image. Now we can match the color of the image with our background as well. So for that we can search for tint. Let's search for tint and let's drag it over image. And now you can pick the colors. So let's set the black to this one and the white to this pink color. Now you can search for curves. Let's drag it over here and you can play around with the curves to make it a little bit brighter, like that. Now make sure that the curves effect is before the tint, something like that. Perfect. So here we have everything. Now we can add some animation to the image as well. Let's press P. Let's add a keyframe. And in the beginning, we can probably move it down below, something like that. Now select the keyframes, press F9 and change the curve to look something like this. So yeah, I think this looks good. Maybe we can add a little bit more. Perfect. So yeah, I think this looks fine. Now we can do one more thing. We have this and we can set its track matte to this layer, which is this one. Now if you're using the older versions of After Effects, then you will have to duplicate this and place this on top of it, and after that change the track matte to alpha matte. But if you are using the newer versions like I am, then you can just simply pick whip and just select this layer. After that, make sure to enable this layer or turn on, so that this will be visible only inside this region, something like that. Perfect. Now we can add a little bit of more lines in the background as well. Now if you want, you can play around with the image position just by simply going inside this, like that. Now we can select one of these layers, press Ctrl D, and on this one, let's change its color to white. And on top of this, we are going to search for Venetian blinds and let's drag it over here. Now if I increase the transition completion, you can see we are able to see the lines. Now set the angle to something like 45 and width is completely up to you. You can just pick whatever width you want, and these parameters are completely experimental, so just play around with them however you like. Let's add a keyframe for transition completion. Let's press U and let's go to the beginning, and I'm going to just set this to 100 so that these appear slowly, something like that. So there you go. Now we have created our animation. Perfect. Now we can do one more thing. We can add animation to this box or this rectangle as well. So let's press S. Let's add a keyframe for scale. Let's move it over here. And in the beginning, I'm going to just increase its width and height so that it matches the frame, something like that. Now again, we can select these, press F9. Let's go to the curves and make it look something like this. Perfect. Now if I press play, you can see we have our animation and we have all these settings applied. Now if you want to change the image or text, it's very easy. All you have to do is just go inside this composition and just drag whatever image you have. Just make sure to scale it up properly and just align it wherever you want. Let's disable this one, and if I go back, you can see we have changed our image. You can change the colors as well. You can change the text over here as well. Just type whatever you want. And make sure to change the text on all of these layers so that it will be changed everywhere. So this is how you can create these kind of minimal opener animation. And I hope you learned something from this video. If you have any queries or questions, make sure to ask in the comments below. Also, the project files for this tutorial is available on Patreon. So if you're supporting me over there, then you can download it from there. And if you're not, then you might consider it, because you will get access to the tutorial project files and exclusive templates that are available only on Patreon. So with that being said, my name is Abhishek and I'll see you in the next one.